But I wondered how you feel about Jordan Pickford, because I think as an England fan, we'll never really truly be convinced by him. Despite what he did at the last tournament, it feels like there will always be questions around him.
Yeah, but I think as Gareth looks at it from his tinted glasses, he's always done well for England. And I think, you can say about Nick Pope, great shot stopper, commands his 18-yard box, he's very calm and you know what you're going to get. I don't think he's good enough with his feet. And if England want to play out from the back, which is what they want to do, I think that's why Jordan Pickford will get the nod. We know he's more emotionally involved with the game. We know he talks well, but he's great with his feet, Jordan Pickford. And I feel that's what he's probably got over. Plus a little bit of experience, obviously playing in major championships. I think that's the advantage that Jordan Pickford's got over Nick Pope.
And undeniably, there's a large section of the England support that will not accept Jordan Pickford as England's number one.
Yeah, I understand that, but the fans don't pick the team. Gareth picks the team, and he's got a philosophy that he wants the team to abide by. And if he wants to play out from the back, and if he wants to have a great range of passing, I think that's one of the areas where Nick Pope needs to prove himself a bit more for me.
Would you stand in England goalkeeping debate,
the media
Mr.
pick the team. Come on, now we know that for years. The media picked the England team.
Really?
Yes, or try to. Look, I think both goalkeepers are very good. I think Jordan Pickford in the 2018 World Cup did very well.
Yep.
I think this season he's been off and on. I think Nick Pope has been very steady. I think there are arguments that Trevor advances which are very, very pertinent about the ability to play out with his feet. But I think if you're looking at form and only form, then you pick Nick Pope.
Well, because Jordan Pickford's not playing, he's injured.
Understood, but if you take away the fact he's
Yeah.
injured and look at the form before he was injured and say, overlay Nick Pope during that period, overlay Jordan Pickford in that period, take out what he did 3 years ago because it's irrelevant what he did 3 years ago.
Agree.
Right? And now look at it and say, who'd you pick? You probably pick Nick Pope, but Southgate isn't cut out of that cloth.
Well, he was, and that was a refreshing thing about him when he first came into the England squad.
He tends to go with what he thinks he trusts and what he thinks he knows, which is not a bad thing, but that isn't always representative of form.
Yeah, I understand that. I agree
And
with that.
That can't be right,
I
can
think
because if you're a player and you're playing well and your form isn't being judged, what chance have you got?
Exactly, and I think that's what all England fans liked about Gareth, because he was coming in. He didn't really want the job. He came in, he picked who he thought was playing the best, and then them players have done well for him, and all of a sudden he's become loyal to them players and almost turned into managers of the past.
I think something different. I think he did absolutely want the job. The opportunity was there. He was an FA man. I also think that what he did is he went to the young players because that's what he knew. And the young players gave you something different because they weren't polluted by the fear factor. They weren't corrupted by the perception of the media that said...
they were just good players.
2018, and good players too, yeah, obviously.
Corrupted by a section of the media.
Let me explain that comment. In 2018...
Sorry, James, we're back with you in a second.
In 2018, James, hold there for a second, James. Award nomination.
We're just talking about media corruption.
2018, the media had no input because they turned around and said, this is a team that stinks, it will do nothing in this World Cup, right? So they went there with no pressure, no perception, nothing whatsoever. So the team played in a certain way with a new manager, with no perceptions, no inhibitions, and no obligations or pressure upon them. Now we go into this tournament, right, with the certain segments of the media advancing the notion that we'll win this tournament, which we won't. We'll win this tournament and the pressure will build up and we'll see something different. So I do think it's a combination of Gareth Southgate with no pressure on him, media downsizing the expectation, young players with a freedom of expression that weren't corrupted by previous experiences of underachieving at international level or being slammed and slaughtered through the media. All of those things add to a mix, to a side that then drew every crappy country they could until they played a decent country and we got knocked out. Yeah. That's the 28 World Cup summarised. There we go.
James,
Next.
I think what we've got to appreciate, it's never not the media's fault, my friend. James, what I would say, and it's interesting talking about Nick Pope, the guy deserves this chance, doesn't he? He deserves a run in the England team when you consider where he's been in the past. Trevor, you're aware of Nick Pope's career. I mean, Charlton, then loan Harrow Borough, loan Welling United, loan Cambridge, loan Aldershot, loan York, loan Bury, and then Burnley.
Brilliant.
Took him a while.
Resilience.
But he got
belief,
there.
Professionalism.
Yeah.
Keep going.
Yeah.
And Andy's injury as well. So, you have to get over a lot of disappointment.
But you're useless with your feet.
To become a great goalkeeper and to actually make it to the Premier League. But I was talking to my coach yesterday, and the percentage of a player coming through an academy and getting into the first team is 0.014%.
Really?
you have to keep on going. You have to have that resilience.
Sure.
And he's shown that in abundance, and fair play to him, and it'll be a proud moment for him to play.
James, thank you very much indeed. I think what comes out of that is beware the corrupt media, said former Sun columnist Simon Jordan.